The Supreme Court is poised to overturn Roe v. Wade and strike down guaranteed abortion access nationwide.
This just as we saw yesterday, Oklahoma passed the most restrictive abortion ban in this country, effectively banning all abortions there with few exceptions. The governor there says he will sign it. Let's bring in now to the studio to discuss, yes, Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who's been a friend of the show over the past couple of years, and good to have you here in studio. How are you doing?
I am doing great. It's good to be in person.
Well, it's so good to have you.
We have a beautiful studio.
Well, thank you. It's new. It really is new. It's about 2 months old, this one. So we're glad to have you here for it, but we do have to talk now about what we just saw yesterday. Just yesterday, your reaction to, look, we know a lot of states have these bans ready to go, but this is the most restrictive one we've seen. What's your response or your reaction to seeing what Oklahoma did yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was coming. Republicans are interested in controlling every aspect of a woman's life, and we can't let it stand. Abortion is health care. Reproductive rights need to be protected, and I believe that the women of this country and everyone who stands with them should reject what's happening in Oklahoma and the decision that might probably come down from the Supreme Court.
And Congresswoman, I know that there have been a few attempts to try and protect Roe v. Wade, to protect the rights of women to have access to abortion. At this point, though, honestly, what is Congress willing to do to protect those rights as we await this decision?
Yeah. I mean, I just want to say how heartbreaking it is, right? Many of us thought that this was settled. There are women of my generation and generations before us that believed that this was settled. Many of us are going to have to raise a generation that doesn't have access to the same rights as we did. And so we have to do everything that we can. We are really proud of the fact that we passed law to codify Roe v. Wade into statute. We're hoping that maybe with few more senators that can get done in the Senate and the president can sign it into law. It's also going to be really important for every governor in every state that is possible and able to step up and to pass laws to protect women's right to choice.
Do you believe, though, you said you were hopeful, do you believe that could and will actually happen?
I mean, we are set to pick up a seat in Pennsylvania, so I am excited about the potential of us not only maintaining the House, but also winning some seats in the Senate. I also just have to remind people that we currently have Supreme Court justices who lied, as how I would say it. Some of the senators will say they were misled about what their intentions were in regards to Roe v. Wade. This is a Supreme Court that has 6 justices that were appointed by presidents that did not win the popular vote. Republicans have only had 1 president win a Republican vote since 1988, and they've had the opportunity to appoint 6. That questions legitimacy of the court, and so court reform is going to be necessary. It's going to be important for us to expand it. It's going to be important for them to be held to the similar ethics standards that us members of Congress are held to.
But you remember, you mentioned expanding the Supreme Court, though. But you expand it to get maybe what you want, because you thought it was settled law. So you expand the court, and then maybe things go back the direction you want. And then next thing you know, you got a Republican Senate and Republican House and a Republican president, and then it goes back the other way. Does it ever get settled? Why is expanding the court the solution if things can sway and maybe not your direction down the road?
I mean, that's a way to look at it. I don't think of it that way. If we think about the Supreme Court, the number of justices is not given to us in the Constitution. It's not, there's not a specific number. The court has been expanded 7 times in our nation's history. And in this particular time, given the fact that we have overwhelming majority of the justices being appointed by presidents that did not reflect the will of the people. They didn't win the popular vote. I think it's really important for us to have justices that are a reflection of the American people and their opinions.
You sound like you're calling them an illegitimate court.
there's a question to the legitimacy of it. And it's an important conversation for us to have. I mean, think about it. If you had a president that doesn't win a popular vote, and majority of the American people, as we know, support Roe v. Wade staying the law of the land, and they are going against the will of the people. And I think that questions the legitimacy of the people that we have there currently, and how necessary it's going to be for us to create important reforms.
It also sounds like you are not a fan of the Electoral College system.
Well, there are a lot of reforms that have to be made. I mean, our democracy really needs us to have an honest conversation about what it means to be a representative democracy, what the one man, one vote really means. Does it make sense for a state like Wyoming to have 2 senators in comparison to the population of California that also has 2 senators? How can you make sure the voices of the people are not diluted in a representative democracy? Because that's what makes our democracy unique in this country, and that's why so many people look up to us until they learn that it might not be so representative of the people.
You're about to get a lot of messages from people from Wyoming. Just you wait.
I gotta say, I love it's a beautiful state. I love the state of Wyoming.
Okay, all right.
Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you here in studio with us.
Yeah.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.